Hi, folks. The movie Razakar has been released recently. It covers a turbulent period in Indian history between 1947 and 48, and it's related to the Razakars' violence against Hindus in the princely state of Hyderabad and related events around the accession of the state to the Union of India. Some commentators like J. Sai Deepak, who's also a Supreme Court lawyer, and journalists like Prakhar Srivastav have linked the violent Razakars to the current incarnation and leaders of Asaduddin Owaisi's Majlis-e-Ittihad al-Muslimin party, which is based in Hyderabad.
Mr. Owaisi presents a very, I'd say, a peculiar picture because his party is the legal successor, or at the very least, the ideological successor of the party founded by Ali Rizvi, a lawyer who led the Razakars into the genocide of Hindus during Operation Polo. We should know this as people who come from Bhaginagar and Hyderabad, where we have seen our families and relatives being butchered at the hands of these Razakars. So they would come with serrated knives. You'll find Razakars being mentioned in two different parts of the world, Bangladesh and in Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Okay? So Razakars, what they would do is that they would tie the male members of the family together and set them alight for the rest of the families to watch. This was the nature of it.
देखिए अभी जब हैदराबाद के जब नगर निगम के चुनाव हुए थे तो उस समय बड़ा मुद्दा उठा था कि आपके जो है पूर्वजों ने क्या किया है और कहां-कहां किसका क्या इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहा है और रजाकार वगैरह का मुद्दा उठाया गया था। और तब ओवैसी ने जो सफाई जो मैंने अभी आपको बताई कि वो सफाई दी थी कि जिन रजाकारों ने पाकिस्तान मांगा था वो चले गए थे, तो वो उनका इशारा जो है कासिम रिजवी की तरफ था कि वो तो पाकिस्तान चला गया। तो चला गया था तो अपनी दुकान तो आपको चलाने के लिए दे गया था। वो दुकान में ना आपने सामान बदला, ना उसका नाम बदला, आगे बस एक नया बोर्ड में ऑल इंडिया लगा के उस दुकान को चला रहे हो। तो ये चीजें माफी या जो भी है, ये सब दुनिया के सामने सच्चाई तो आ ही जाएगी। और ये जितने ज्यादा लोग अगर इसको पढ़े लिखे और उसको आगे तक फैलाएं, तो उससे लोगों तक ये चीज मालूम पड़ेगी कि किसका क्या इतिहास रहा है। तो हैदराबाद जो ओवैसी जो अपने एक बयान में उन्होंने कहा था कि जो रजाकार थे, जो पाकिस्तान के समर्थक थे, वो बंटवारे के बाद चले गए, तो ओवैसी झूठ बोलते। असल में जो 15-20 हजार रजाकार जो गिरफ्तार किए गए थे हैदराबाद के विलीनीकरण के बाद, उन्हें थोड़े थोड़े समय पर नेहरू सरकार ने छोड़ दिया था। तो निजाम जब मरा तो जो निजाम के समर्थक थे, जो पाकिस्तान के समर्थक थे, जो ओवैसी का आज वोट बैंक है, उनके जो पूर्वज थे, वो सब वहां पर मौजूद थे। एक बहुत बड़ी तादाद मुसलमानों की वहां पर मौजूद थी। तो जाहिर है कि जब निजाम का जनाजा निकलेगा तो उसके समर्थक जब उस शहर के अंदर मौजूद होंगे तो वो भीड़ लगाकर वहां पहुंच ही जाएंगे, क्योंकि उन समर्थकों को किसी सरकार ने ये तय नहीं किया कि उन पर केस चलाया जाए, जबकि उनमें से ज्यादातर लोग गिरफ्तार हो गए थे। उन्हें पाकिस्तान डिपोर्ट किया जाए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया गया। उन्हें सिर्फ हैदराबाद में वापस आजाद छोड़ दिया गया। वो सब आने वाले उनके जो वंशज है वो सब ओवैसी के समर्थक बन गए हैं। तो इन
Is making links like this fair? Is there any truth to these links? Let's dig deeper into this. I'll give you some facts and I'll leave it up to you to draw your own conclusions. Let me first give you some background on the origins of the MIM party and how the Razakars evolved from that outfit. The MIM was founded in 1927 as an organization to promote Muslim socio-religious interests and to help support the Muslim ruler, the Nizam, in his minority rule over a population which was almost 90% Hindu. In 1938, Bahadur Yar Jung, a local political leader belonging to a landowning family of Hyderabad, soon took up a leadership role and gave it a political flavor. He was an associate of the poet Iqbal, one of the leading lights of the Pakistan movement, as well as of Jinnah, the political founder of Pakistan. He was a supporter of Jinnah's Muslim League and an enthusiastic proponent of the creation of Pakistan and the imposition of Islamic Sharia law. There is even a neighborhood called Bahadurabad in Karachi, Pakistan, named after him. Karachi also has a Bahadur Yar Jung library and a Bahadur Yar Jung academy named after him. The government of Pakistan released a postage stamp in 1990 in his honor as a pioneer of freedom and a man who was instrumental in the creation of Pakistan. Bahadur Yar Jung's grandson, Muhammad Muazzam Khan, was elected in 2004 as an MLA from the MIM party from Bahadurpura, which is a constituency in Hyderabad's old city. Bahadur Yar Jung died in 1944 and control of the MIM was taken over by Qasim Rizvi, a lawyer educated at Aligarh Muslim University. Rizvi was an avowed Islamist and intent on maintaining uncompromising Muslim superiority in Hyderabad state. Rumblings of the Indian independence movement were already being heard in Hyderabad, and Rizvi responded by rapidly increasing the membership of the MIM in the years following his takeover. Atrocities against Hindus soon ran rampant in the state of Hyderabad. The forcible conversion of Hindus, which had started as early as the 1930s, increased. Many Dalits were forcibly converted to Islam in an attempt to change the demographics of the state. Restrictions were imposed on the construction and upkeep of Hindu temples. The local population was discouraged from teaching students in their own language, Telugu. Poverty and disease were widespread. Things were generally in terrible shape, as the Nizam's focus was primarily on maintaining control, not on progress and the welfare of Hyderabad's citizens. India became independent in 1947, and virtually all of India's hundreds of princely states like Mysore, Travancore, Jaipur, etc., had become part of India by August of that year. Hyderabad, however, remained an independent state under the Nizam, Osman Ali Khan. He signed a standstill agreement with India in November 1947 in an attempt to buy time for negotiations on a possible continuing independent status for Hyderabad. So the Nizam's fantasy about maintaining his rule and establishing an Islamic state was the main reason for his reluctance to accede to India. So by March 1948, Qasim Rizvi had assembled a force of 1 million Razakars, or volunteers with ideological training, and 100,000 of them received weapons training as well. This was all done with official and financial support from the Nizam of Hyderabad. The Nizam gave Pakistan 20 crores of rupees, and he received arms by air from Pakistan. Qasim Rizvi was frequently in touch with Jinnah, getting advice on how to deal with the Indian government, which was obviously keen on incorporating the state of Hyderabad into the Indian Union. Rizvi said that he would not let Hyderabad fall under the Brahmin Baniya Raj of the Indians. Such comments about Brahmins and Baniyas, by the way, are still heard from Pakistanis even today when they talk about the India Pakistan split of 1947. Jinnah was in touch with the Nizam, and he threatened dire consequences from India's Muslims if India forced Hyderabad's hand. Like Ali, Hyderabad state's prime minister, who was appointed by the Nizam, was also a Pakistan sympathizer, and he was in constant touch with Jinnah as well. He held meetings with the Indian government in Delhi, but his discussions were more a delaying tactic than an attempt to really reach resolution on the issue. Qasim Rizvi's Razakars unleashed a wave of terror across the state with the objective of terrorizing the local Hindu population and making it submit to the will of the Nizam and his desire to remain separate from the Indian Union. Crops were burnt, women were raped, and a huge number of peasants was killed in village after village across Hyderabad state. The true count of the killings will never be known. The Razakars even conducted raids beyond the borders of Hyderabad state in certain instances. Vallabhbhai Patel, the Indian Home Minister, finally decided that he could wait no longer. The Razakars' atrocities had to be ended. On September 13th, 1948, the Indian Army was ordered to move into Hyderabad. The army demolished the Nizam's forces within 4 days, with a formal surrender from the Hyderabad army coming on September 17th, 1948. Qasim Rizvi was arrested and thrown into prison, and the MIM was banned. He was finally released 9 years later on the condition that he would leave for Pakistan within 48 hours of his release. Many other MIM members who had been jailed were released as well. Before Qasim Rizvi left for Pakistan in September 1957, he handed over a revived MIM party to Abdul Wahid Owaisi, a lawyer from Hyderabad. Abdul Wahid Owaisi was the grandfather of the current head of the MIM, Asaduddin Owaisi. Soon after Abdul Wahid Owaisi took over, he began making provocative speeches in late 1957 and early 1958. He was then arrested and sent to prison for 11 months. Abdul Wahid Owaisi led the party until 1976, when his son, Salahuddin Owaisi, took over. Salahuddin Owaisi, in turn, handed over control of the MIM to his son, Asaduddin Owaisi. Now, Asaduddin Owaisi says he has nothing to do with Qasim Rizvi or his pro-Pakistan ideology based on ideas of religious superiority or religious supremacy. Owaisi is a smart lawyer who knows how far he can go in provoking people, but staying out of legal trouble. Even so, he does get into trouble sometimes. He talks about the Constitution a lot, but he doesn't hesitate to use religious references when he's talking to crowds from his own community. He even made statements recently that sounded a lot like a threat, asking who would protect the Hindus of Uttar Pradesh after Yogi Adityanath, the chief minister of that state, left office at the end of his term. He later issued a tweet explaining what he supposedly meant to say. There have, however, been instances when another MIM leader, Asaduddin's brother Akbaruddin, has gotten into legal trouble for provocative statements, like his infamous "remove the police for 15 minutes and see what we can do" statement from 2013, or his derogatory statements on Hindu religious figures.
अरे हिंदुस्तान हिंदुस्तान हम 25 कौड़ है ना, तुम 100 कौड़ है ना, ठीक है, तुम तो हमारे से इतने ज्यादा है, 15 मिनट के लिए पुलिस को हटा लो, बता लेंगे किसमें हिम्मत है, कौन ताकत है।
Akbaruddin Owaisi referenced the 15 minutes statement again in 2020.
क्या है अकबरुद्दीन ओवैसी से नफरत क्यों है? क्यों है? 100 सुनार की तो 1 लोहार की। 15 मिनट ऐसा ज़र्ब है जो अभी भी नहीं भर सका।
Another MIM leader, Waris Pathan, made similar statements in February 2020 about 15 crores of his people outweighing the 100 crore Hindus. So, what do you think about the statements from commentators like Prakhar Srivastav and Sai Deepak? Do you think the MIM leaders' statements that I played for you sound like echoes from the times of Qasim Rizvi's Razakars of the 1940s? I'll let you be the judge of that. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. One thing is for sure, OIC and his MIM party will have to think about whether its leaders can go on making provocative statements like this about violence against defenseless Hindus. Also, it may want to reorient its priorities towards the progress of the citizens that it represents, instead of merely controlling them, keeping them backward, and using them as a vote bank. Hindus must keep in mind too that you can always forgive, but you should never forget, else history might repeat itself. This Razakar movie is a good reminder about that principle. If you like the material I shared today, give this video a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Until next time, take care.